Hi there, and welcome back to rLounge. Being unapologetically you means becoming conscious of the pursuit of yourself, stripping back all of the layers of who society taught you to be, and truly opening up to your true self. In the journey of becoming unapologetic, it's not like you're becoming someone different. It's about you no longer feeling the need to hide or be who you think other people want you to be. And it's about you no longer holding yourself back from fully expressing yourself due to the fear of being judged. Today, we see how being unapologetically yourself is the shortcut to more happiness, peace, and fulfillment in life. Up first, a successful doctor prescribes her in-laws a bit of their own medicine. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend I'd rather be alone and suffer in my apartment than go with him to visit his mom? So I, 23 male, hate my boyfriend's, 24 male, family with a passion. I can't stand them. They're the most condescending, judgmental a-holes I've ever had the displeasure of knowing. It all started when I first met them. They talked about my looks and how I could improve it by losing weight, cutting my hair, and stop eating like a pig. I'm 188 centimeters tall and 80 kilograms. I go to the gym a lot, and I would consider myself fit. They have crapped on my job because they think I'm not good enough to be a doctor and I work too much. His mother is the one that says all of this, and the rest agree with her. It has gotten to the point where I'm dreading every birthday, Christmas, or any other celebration because I have to see them again. My boyfriend has told them to stop, but they always say that I'm too sensitive and need to relax. Last time I met them, they told my boyfriend that he should dump me and find a man that's better for him. I was sitting next to him when it happened. So, his mom got into an accident and had to go to the hospital I'm working at, and my boyfriend told me to help her and make sure she gets the best care. I told my coworkers, and they assured me that I can't be on her case and that I wouldn't need to be near her at all. My boyfriend and his family begged me that I should visit her and make sure she is okay on my break, and I refused. I said I'd rather be alone in my apartment and suffer than to visit his mom with him or without him. I can't effing stand that woman. He and his family have been messaging me nonstop, telling me I'm a bad doctor for not wanting to help a patient. But the thing is, she's not my patient. So am I the a-hole? Edit. In Sweden, it's 5 years of medical school. Then you become an intern. I think it's called in the US. After you're done with that, you can specialize in whatever field you like. I'm working in a surgical hospital, and I started my studies half a year before I turned 17. Our first opinion comes from BearCub15. Not the a-hole. His family sounds awful, and I don't blame you. Your problem, though, is really with your boyfriend. He should not be allowing them to treat you this way, or at least never make you be around them. You may want to reevaluate this relationship. The OP replies, we have had countless conversations about this, and he agrees with me and have told them off. I have also said that if our relationship is going to work, he needs to accept that I won't ever be near his family. Now that he has been calling and texting nonstop to visit his mother, just me, after all the things she said, I told him what we have talked about before. That being said, I'm a doctor and I do have obligations, but my obligations are not to her. I can't be a doctor to someone I have personal connections to. My coworkers have told me she has been bad-mouthing me to them, so there is no way in hell that I'm visiting that woman. You're not the a-hole, OP, at all. As you said, she's not your patient and you're not obligated at all. She said they think you're not a good enough doctor and now they want you to give her the best care? Ha! What a joke! I wouldn't help her either. I also think there's something deeper going on than just your partner's family. I wouldn't tolerate someone speaking to my partner like the way they speak to you. If you really loved and respected someone, you'd want to protect them and do whatever you could to prevent that type of treatment. Update. So I thought I would give you guys an update, but before that, thank you all for the kind words and support. His mom was fine. She was not in any danger at all. My colleagues told me how much crap she talked about me and how much better he could do than some wannabe doctor. I was fuming. She and her family had been begging me to visit her, and she was still talking crap about me. So I went to her room demanding to know what her problem was. Well, she didn't like me because I'm, in her words, too masculine to be with her son, and he needs to find someone that's not. Huh. I told my boyfriend and he was mad at first, but kinda agreed with her and told me it wouldn't hurt me to try being less masculine. All I said was that if he's trying to make me change who I am, then there's no reason to be with me anymore. He told me that that's not what he wanted and that he loves me. So I told him, like so many of you did, that if he wants me, then he needs to go low contact with her, and I'm going to go full no contact. He told me that it's not fair and I was being unreasonable. I had made my choice though, and in the end, we broke up. To be honest, I'm not even heartbroken. I have my job, good friends, and a family that loves me. I have gotten texts from him telling me he misses me, but I have just ignored them. In the end, I'm happy, I think, and it's for the better. Edit. I just want to say once again, thank you. To be honest, it's good to hear from strangers that I'm not overreacting, not a coward that's running away when things get hard. I really loved him, but the dude has big mommy issues. And because of his mom, I realized that I can't deal with a guy that can't put me first. I'm already working my butt off, and I can't be bothered to feel like crap after work. We got a couple reactions. First from Flat Shame 2377. You saved yourself from a lifetime of abuse and stress. Let him try to find someone better. His mother won't approve of anyone. I know you can do much better than that toxic family. Loopy Landtide says, too masculine? Holy crap, she hates that he's gay, doesn't she? Honestly, this is for the best, OP. Like I said, there's no reason anyone's partner should tolerate that behavior. There was something deeper going on beneath the surface, and that appeared to be his lack of self-confidence. I mean, you're a doctor. That's crazy. You're so intelligent, and you shouldn't be with someone who doesn't appreciate how wonderful you are. You deserve someone who's going to stand tall and proud next to you, who shouts your name from the rooftop and encourages you to be your biggest and brightest self, unapologetically. What would you have done? Meanwhile, up next, a family trip leads to a few revelations. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take my toddler to visit my in-laws? Hubs and I have a young toddler, 15 months old. We live out of state from both of our families, who are also far from each other, a 5-hour drive. Neither of our families live very close to a large airport, about 3 hours for my family and 2 for his. For context, my family adores Hubs. His family hates me, and I don't like them either. The reasons they hate me aren't important. Just know that it's nothing I've done. There are certain unchangeable things about me that they hate, and they were against us being together as soon as they found out. Since establishing boundaries and getting married, they have calmed down, but they still avoid speaking or making eye contact with me. Now we have a toddler, and I'm planning a trip to visit my parents for an upcoming holiday. We're also planning to tour that area because we're considering moving there next year. I've done all the legwork to plan the trip. Hubs wants to visit his family as part of the trip, but I refuse. My main reasons are, it's way too long of a car ride with how young kiddo is. It's already enough traveling and stress just getting out there. Second, they don't do anything for our kid. Multiple members of my immediate and extended family have visited at least once and stepped in to help with child care gaps, even though they are all a flight away. So part of the purpose of this trip is for us to be the ones going to visit instead of them always coming to us. Hub's family has never met kiddo and have only done 2 video calls, although they have sent some small gifts. Third, we'd have to take more time off of work to fit it in. Hubs is pissed and thinks I'm trying to deny his family a relationship with our kid. I've extended an open invitation for them to visit, but so far they haven't. There's no financial burden on their side. They just give semi-plausible excuses. They counter with an offer to take kiddo for a few years so we can focus on our careers and kiddo can learn their language. Obviously, that's a hard no from us. I offered to meet them for a day or 2 in the major airport city. They go there all the time since we have to go back anyway, but that's not good enough either. Apparently, we have to go to them and can't expect them to accommodate us because they just won't do it. So if I want them to meet kiddo, we have to do all of the work. But I don't really care if they meet kiddo or not, especially after all they've put me through. It's not my job to make sure that happens. I think if Hubs wants them to meet kiddo, then he needs to plan his own trip and coordinate with them, not tack on to what I'm already planning. Hubs thinks it's ridiculous to expect him to plan another trip when we're already going to be out there, even though that's not exactly close. And I'm not considering his feelings. Am I the a-hole? Our first opinion comes from Algebra Lover. Not the a-hole. You do have a marriage issue though, and a family issue. The offer to take the child for a few years to allow you to focus on your career suggests that his family is a certain ethnic group to me, and that you likely are not that same ethnic group. That is why they refuse to have anything to do with you? You need to make absolutely certain that you are present on any visit between your child and your husband's family. You don't want the child left with them, and your partner needs backup to say no. You also need to watch the interaction and make certain that they are welcoming to the child and don't discriminate based on ethnicity. I hope I'm wrong, but I've seen it too many times. Good luck. I don't think you're the a-hole, OP. It's hard to put in the time and effort with people who don't put in the time and effort for you. However, I think your husband would really appreciate a quick visit with his rents, if it was possible to meet halfway, and it might prevent a huge family fight. Update. I appreciate all the comments, even the ones that said you're the a-hole, because it helped me remember to be empathetic to my husband's feelings. In the end, I stood my ground. We will not be visiting my in-laws for this trip, or at all in the near future. It definitely got a bit heated, but logically, it just didn't make any sense to visit my in-laws. We'd be about 5 hours away by car. We'd have to rent a car to see them. We'd have to pay for a hotel because they don't want me in their house, and they don't even celebrate this holiday. I also recently started a new job and don't have much PTO banked up. What little I do have, I need for the short holiday trip and then our big move in the spring. I laid all this out to my husband and asked him how he would resolve these issues, and he didn't have an answer. I can't magically get more PTO. Neither one of us wants to add 10 plus hours of driving onto a trip that already has a cross-country flight or pay for a hotel and car rental. And frankly, our parents do not live near each other enough, even though it might be in the same region. Think one lives in New York City, the other in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, it's the same state, but it's not close at all. So this expectation that when we see one, we have to see both has to stop. A few weeks later, we talked about it again in the context of us moving closer, still 5 to 6 hour drive, and I laid out for him that I'm simply not willing to go so far out of my way to make sure my in-laws have a relationship with our kid. They're racist. They were terrible parents to all of their kids, but especially abusive to my husband. They're already playing favorites, read Golden Child and Scapegoat, with their other grandkids, and I'm not going to move heaven and earth to have the idea of a family with them. My husband has come a long way in not jumping every time they snap their fingers, and this was something he struggled with. I completely understand that he wants to have the same experience that I have had, of showing off my kid to my family, watching the bonds develop, etc. But in reality, it just won't happen for his family. They don't care about him very much, never call or send a gift for his birthday, even though he spends a lot of money on them for their holidays and birthdays. They still have no plans to come visit our kid and haven't done a video call in 6 months. In the more than 10 years we've been together, not once have they come to us. So we're dropping the rope. Hubs is free to have whatever relationship he's comfortable with, but we aren't going to be putting in any extra effort right now unless something changes. I hope this helps other people in multiracial relationships see how things might turn out. Your in-laws may never come around, and you have to decide if it's worth it to you. For me it is, but it's not without conflict at times. Edit. Added the link to the original. Got lost somehow. We've got a reaction from Bruce Skier. He's living in Fantasyland. He thinks spending money and time on his family will magically change them. Hold your ground. Stay away from them. They were horrible parents and seem to be just as bad as grandparents. Not the a-hole. Puppy Jitto says, OP, I'm glad that your husband has come around. I also have to laugh at your update because I live in Buffalo, and there have been so many times people from elsewhere tell me how nice it must be to be able to go to New York City all the time. I'm like, it's at least a 6-hour drive, so no. The OP replies, I'm glad somebody else gets it. I'm not from Buffalo, and no one in my story lives in Buffalo, but I am from New York State originally, and people always act like I'm actually from New York City, or that I must go there all the time. So annoying. Even my mom flipped out once when I flew to a New York State city, visit a dying family member for a weekend, but didn't make time to visit her, over 4 hours away. So I guess everyone's susceptible to thinking you can just tack on an extra city if it's technically in the same area. Hearing more about your husband's rents, it makes sense why you don't want to have anything to do with them. I can see how this is hard on your husband. He wants so badly to have a relationship with them, but I don't think it's a realistic outcome at this point. I can understand him wanting his child to have a better life than he did and a better relationship with his parents, but he can do that by being the best dad he can to his own kid. He doesn't need his family's approval. He needs to break the cycle himself. It's not up to his parents. They had their chance. What do you think? Would you have tried to visit the in-laws? Have you ever tried to make it work with in-laws, but it just wasn't possible? When should you give up on trying to mend a relationship with your parents? Thank you for joining us today on rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, share that with us in the comments below. Until next time.